Hello everyone and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Commander Cookins.
And today we're talking about one of my kind of guilty pleasure ships. Kind of the canoe of Starfleet, I guess. That would be the Oberth class. We first saw it in Star Trek 3. We now saw it in the last episode of Lower Decks. Just as in the last couple seconds of it doing a thing, tractoring and warp nacelles. So yeah, we're going to talk about it and compare it a little bit, see how they did.
Yeah, what I liked about this last scene, apart from just they didn't have to do this, introduce all these new things, but they did. It gave me massive Generations vibes of the Enterprise D crashed and the Nebula and the Oberth and Miranda came to help. But what do we get here? We get a Nova and two other random weird small ships and an Oberth. And it's good to see these things still knocking about. I get the feeling these might have been mass produced because they're small, quick and easy. And so there's going to be these running for a long time to come. And not at all refitted, Stuart. Just straight off the production line 200 years ago. It ain't no... Which actually, that's a good first question, actually. How do you feel about it looking identical and not with red basards or warp glows? Or how's that make you feel? Okay.
I love it. It already has unique standout warp nacelles anyway. So, yeah. Maybe you can't add the red glows to it. So...
Yeah, this is one of those ones I'm absolutely chock-a-block happy with it being as factory new, you know. But obviously I have done a comparison render. I've taken our 3D model of the Oberth. Obviously this is the disclaimer. It's not, the original studio miniature. It's a 3D model. But I've tried to match it. And I've digitally enhanced the other Oberth as much as I can to kind of match angles. It is only in this one shot, in this one angle, every time we see it. So this is maybe even been a static, not even a 3D model. It might have just been a drawing, as they have done before. But yeah, here it is, side by side. What do you think?
Super impressed. Like I said, this is one of my favorite designs. It's so unique and just different when we saw it in Star Trek 3. I always did like it. It's great to see it again. We saw it a few times in TNG. They really nailed it. It's, as much as it's in the distance and stuff, when you zoom in on it, it's actually pretty impressive. Some of the proportions are a little off, but overall you get what they're going for. And the reason I called it the canoe of Starfleet is because just that bottom secondary hull has a very canoe-like shape. So, in case anybody was wondering.
No, this is one of those ones where all of these elements are obviously hand created for the show, and people might, fans have said to us often, oh, it's just animated. That is very true, but the people working on it are very passionate at what they do, and there's very, very good reference for all these ships, and so they will take the time. 9 times out of 10, there's the occasional time when okay, that's probably a rush it through the door, that's fine. But for a background ship, this is an extremely close and accurate version where they really didn't leave much out. The only thing I'll say, the proportions, okay, it's because of, different focal length, different, the only thing they did is they've simplified the shapes to be more boxy, as in, the struts are quite specific and organic and curved in the first one. This one, they just block. Actually, they look like kind of refit struts, actually, where they're kind of done. But that is a very much a Lower Decks staple, so that's a artistic translation rather than... That said, obviously, the Bird of Prey had none of that. So, but that's, I guess, way more iconic than this. So it's kind of okay, and also there's a background ship. But I have no problem with it being simplified. I think that doesn't detract at all.
Yeah, for one shot in the background, I think they did a fantastic job. Wouldn't mind seeing it up close in an episode, kind of focusing on it. That'd be kind of neat. The dark gray areas of the nacelles don't extend as far to the strut as they should, and things like that. So there are a few little odd things, but honestly, with being in the background, who's going to look at it so closely?
Speaking of looking at it detailed closely, the primary saucer hull thing is a little bit different. The way it connects the bottom plate is now got a ramp into the front, which doesn't exist on the other one. It's interesting because all these things are intentional, right? So it'd be interesting to know what was the impetus behind not replicating it exactly by making changes that are not...
Maybe just the artist going, hey, I got, kind of free reign here. I'm just going to add this little detail. That's my version of the ship.
Which, as we said, this is hundreds of years, 150 years later. It isn't probably going to be literally one from TNG, and that is absolutely all good. It's just an interesting note. I'm also noting that, again, in this 3D model version, the hump of the front of the pod is quite smooth, quite gentle gradient. The other one kind of ends on quite a harsh bump, which actually does change the vibe entirely for the bottom. What do you think about that as a variant?
I think it's fine. As we talked about when we did our episode on the Oberth class, we always assumed that those pods were interchangeable, and those are big sensor palettes and stuff for scientific surveys. So if this one's there specifically to repair or to tractor in a ship, not necessarily science, could just be a different pod. Honestly, with the comparison here, it's just honestly just how it's drawn. So I don't think that's the vibe. But yeah, I think the pods being different is perfectly fine.
I'm just thinking, how cool would it be if those bottom two elements, which again are slightly different in this to the original version, what if they both like jettisoned off and work bees, like a whole cluster of work bees, were in the bottom?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, like open up or something, have just bays along there, would be cool. But yeah, jettisoning off is a really good idea, actually.
Because I mean, if you've got 30 work bees in the ship, they can reattach it. Like that's, but that'd be a really cool way of like delivering work bees. You haven't got that many ships sending Oberth, dedicated pod, you know.
Oberth class are very specialist ships, so that would be very cool. Actually, I like that.
So yeah, nice and short today though, guys, because we got one shot, but it actually is both more different and more similar than you think, in different ways, which are only when you stop and look and do a direct comparison, which is what Trekyards does uniquely.
That's right. And the team on Lower Decks needs some kudos because the amount of attention they put in, we really appreciate that, and we'd like to thank them for that. So we want to highlight their work and show how good they do. So thank you guys. Thank you. And thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button for us, please. And don't forget to join the channel or subscribe to the channel. You can also join the channel if you'd like. And click the notification bell icon to all. And of course, comment down below what you thought about the Oberth. Seeing it, is it one of your favorite designs? Let us know. We want to hear from you guys.
And if you like what we do, then please support us directly via Patreon, PayPal, joining the channel, which is very much appreciated, or super chatting during the lives. We do lives on all sorts of topics. And of course, do these really deep breakdowns and deep dives that no one does. And so if you want to be part of that great community, join in, say hey, super chat, and help us make more. So thanks in advance, and we'll see you next time.
That's right. So until then, he's Commander Cocky.
He's Captain Foley.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.